Alright guys, Todd Anderson here alongside
B to the B to the D.
old Braun-Duin playing another Playtest video. Today I'm playing blue-white aggro versus your...
I'm playing green-white, splash-black, shenanigan, mid-range. I don't know, it's just a mid-range deck.
I think even though junk is an appropriate title because of the colors, it's also an appropriate title because of the cards.
Yeah. Junk is not only reflective of the color, but also the content of the character of the deck, yeah.
And also the content of the trunk.
Obviously.
Yeah. So
I generally store this deck in my trunk.
Alright, but we're going to go ahead and start off with the die roll. You guys actually get to see it this time. So, okay.
Alright, I'm on the play. I'm not
I
confident.
hope you snake eyes so bad. Okay.
Alright, good.
Alright, so Brian gets to be on the play. Only fitting since I destroyed him last week.
I mean, you did destroy me last week, however, the previous 3 weeks?
Yes, I know. I understand. I got annihilated.
We can revisit those if you'd like.
Oh, I would love to not ever do that.
Alright. I mean, I'm fine doing it whenever, but...
Alright, so Brian's going to be on the play. I'm not really sure what all's in this deck, because we didn't really share deck list beforehand. But we'll see just how my deck fares against his.
This hand is okay. It's not, like, amazing, but it's pretty solid, and so I'm definitely going to keep it. Yeah.
So these two are obviously a problem, but I don't think I can really mulligan based on the rest of the contents of my hand. Like, this hand's pretty decent, even if it's a little slow, so we're going to keep it and see just how bad these are going to be. So,
alright, I'm going to lead with a tapped Temple Garden. Say go.
Alright. I'm going to lead with a tapped Azorius Guildgate.
Alright.
Go.
Alright, that was a good draw. I'm happy to draw that there.
Don't say that. Forest.
Nah, I'm going to play Call of the Conclave.
Oh, boy.
So put a 3/3. We don't have the tokens yet, so I'm just going to use this beast here. But
Alright, still didn't draw a land that comes into play untapped, unfortunately. But we do have a War Falcon, which we'll go ahead and cast and play another Guildgate. Your turn.
So that guy can block, but cannot attack unless you control a soldier.
Yep. Luckily, almost all the creatures in my deck are soldiers, so you should be getting some attack on in a minute.
So, I'm going to begin by swinging in for 3.
Sure. We'll take 3 down to 17.
So I have a couple of options here. One, I basically can play like either of these two lands, and if I play this, I take 2 damage, but it lets me play this next turn depending on what I draw. Whereas if I play this, then I just can't cast this next turn no matter what I draw. So there's a little give and take there, and I think I'm actually going to just play this one though. Save myself 2 life, and I can just go this and then this in consecutive turns, and then play this the following turn, assuming I draw well enough. So we're going to play a Loxodon Smiter.
Sure.
Say go ahead.
I will say that the first 2 weeks that I saw that card, for some reason in my mind, it gained 4 life when it came into play. And it doesn't, which is much worse than I thought it was, but it's still very good.
Yeah, he's still a pretty sizable beat stick for only 3 mana.
So we drew a Plains, which is pretty awesome. So we actually get to play Liev Sky Knight, and we're going to detain your Smiter for a turn.
Okay.
And it's going to turn on my War Falcon as well. So we're going to attack for 2, put you down to 18.
Yep.
And pass the turn.
Our Smiter has been detained. It's bad for us. Alright, so we drew this, which would have let us cast this. But, you know, we couldn't have known that was going to happen. So what we're going to do is get in there with this guy.
Alright, sends me to 14.
And we are going to play another Smiter.
Okay.
And play an Braun-Duin taps.
And this will be the spot where I just fall in love with some Detention Sphere, because we're going to mess these guys up real bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So for those of you who've ever played with Maelstrom Pulse, it's not quite as good as Maelstrom Pulse because they're not stone dead. And he can have Golgari Charm or various other things to kill it, and then gets his guys back. And if he does it at instant speed, it's going to mess up my combat a little bit. But we're going to play a 3rd Guildgate, which is all 3 of them in the deck. But we're going to go ahead and attack for 5. Put you down to 13.
13, yep.
And pass turn. I don't know if you actually had a different play that you could have made on that turn, but I think since you know that I'm blue-white, you have to keep in mind that Detention Sphere can be very problematic for you. So.
Yep. Yeah, definitely something to always be aware of, but I think we're okay. I'm going to play Tristani here.
It's double green, double white, bro.
I don't have double white. Wow. All right, we're not.
That's one of the reasons why I don't really like a lot of those guys, because they're actually much harder to cast than they look like.
Yep. All right, we can't cast Tristani. Never mind. No, I guess we have to cast
Another Luxodon Smiter.
Oblivion Ring on his Detention Sphere.
Sure.
Get
Yeah,
back
so
our
he
two
does get
guys.
his 2 guys back, which kind of sucks. But now if I draw a Detention Sphere, I can kill his Oblivion Ring, and it kills guys. Or I could just kill his guys again.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
All right, so he has 11 power in play, which is technically lethal if, we don't hold anything back to block. So
Feeling Todd will hold something back to block or play
possible.
something to block.
All right, so we are going to start off by playing a Knight of Glory.
Okay.
We are going to Spectral Flight a War Falcon and attack for 7.
All right. Well, we take 7.
Puts you down to 6.
Get a 6.
Now what this does is it allows me to have 1 chum blocker to prevent potential lethal damage while also threatening lethal flying damage to him next turn. So pass the turn.
All right. So we drew this. Doesn't actually do anything for us.
You played these both tapped, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was just making sure.
All right. So we're dead next turn. Todd has 2 cards in hand. I'm not sure if he's playing Unsummon in his deck. I'm gonna hope that he doesn't have it. I think we're a little bit losing in the board state right now, so we have to go for it. So I think if we just O-ring his Knight of Glory, and then swing for 11, that's gonna be the plan.
Sure.
So.
I'm going to give him protection from white after you target him.
All right. So his face shield. So yeah, we're just dead. So
Okay. Cool. Not the best use of a Spectral Flight, but having that extra 2 damage allowed me to slow your, or give me like 1 extra turn clock, or eliminate your like clock by an extra turn, I guess.
Yep.
So we're gonna play 1 more game before sideboarding, but yeah. So if I didn't have the Faith Shield there, I definitely would have held another guy back to block. I think just because with you showing me the black mana from your deck, you can have all sorts of cards like Abrupt Decay, or another Oblivion Ring like you had, or something like that. But since I had the Faith Shield, I thought it was
safe enough.
Yeah, safe enough. Like I had the 1 blocker and a protection spell for, so you had to have 2 cards to punch through. So
Yeah, and you knew one of my cards was a
Tristani.
Tristani. I tried
but-
to erroneously play.
Yeah, the casting costs on all the like Lord type guys are pretty rough. Especially like your deck, you have like 2 vaults and 2 Gavany Townships.
Yep.
And are you playing 3 Tristani?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it can be a little difficult to cast, but whenever you get to like start doing crazy things with it, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, see, like my plan there was to cast Tristani, then next turn Oblivion Ring or Defension Spear, and gain 8
life. Wow.
Yeah, get back Double Smiter and gain 8 life.
That would have been pretty good.
Yeah, that would have been very good, and then I could start populating that Call of the Conclave token.
Yeah.
So
I think it's important to note also that Face Shield can protect Detention Sphere, and if my land had come into play untapped, the Azorius Guildgate, I would have been able to protect my Detention Sphere from your Oblivion Ring.
Yeah.
And then that would have been like, game would have been pretty much over at that point, I think. So.
I mean, I had the second O-ring, but still, it would have been, yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and
Shuffle up. Yeah, Leo of Sky Knight did some serious work that game.
Yeah, I mean, like, that 1 turn of just, like, mini time walking you and also having 3 power is pretty huge, and I definitely think that he's going to be... Well, I know he's going to be a player in Block Constructed, but I hope he's a player in Standard. Like, you have so many dual lands. He's a human and a knight, so Cavern is, like, pretty awesome on him, and just being able to slow, like, a Gerald's Messenger or a Drug Mangler down for a turn while you apply 3 power to the board is pretty huge.
Yeah.
Not to mention, a Luxon Smiter or a Call the Conclave token. So, all right, so Braun's gonna be on the play again. Let's hope that's a recurring theme.
Yeah, we're gonna keep this hand. This hand looks pretty solid. So.
This hand's fine as well, I think. again, this is kind of biting me, but if this was just a plains, you know, it would kind of put me in the same boat. I'm going to count how many times if this was an island that I would be better off, but we're going to keep it anyway, and hopefully our draws help us out a little.
Absence Pilgrim, go ahead.
Alright, so we're going to start with a War Falcon and pass turn.
Attack.
So I think with the way our hand's set up here, I feel like it's going to be pretty hard to lose the late game. And even though he's attacking and he's offering the trade, meaning that he probably doesn't have a good answer to War Falcon, the rest of our hand's so good that I think I just want to block to make sure that I can slow him down. So we're going to actually block, even though I know he wants me to block. So,
all right, I'm going to play Call of the Conclave.
Sure.
And here we go.
Alright, so we are going to cast a Dryad Militant and then play an Azorius Guildgate tapped and pass the turn. We drew a real good one.
That's actually slightly unfortunate. I will attack with this.
So were you just bluffing? Or, sorry, I'll wait until your turn's over, but I want to ask a question.
Go. So, I don't really want to play this because of Detention Spheres in his deck. I'm going to play Arbor Elf.
Sure.
And Vault to the Archangel.
Okay.
And say go ahead.
Alright, we're going to attack for 2. Shoot 18. And then I'm going to cast a Geist of Saint Traft.
Sure.
And be done.
That was not what we wanted to draw, fortunately.
So, as you guys can probably see, the Guildgate coming in and play tapped, even though it's been like slowing me down a little bit, it hasn't been affecting me that much. And the fact that it can tap for blue has been really important. So, I'm liking it so far, although I don't really want to draw too many of them. May not even be necessary though, just depending. Take it down to 14.
Alright, I'm going to play another Call of the Conclave.
Sure.
Which gets exiled from the Militant's ability.
Yep.
And I'm going to hope that he doesn't have Detention Sphere.
Alright, well,
Probably
we do.
Does. Yep.
Yeah. And I think at the moment that's better than our other options. So we're going to go into Detention Sphere, the 2 beasts. And now he doesn't get those back, obviously. But where's the angel token? So just in
It's
here
in there somewhere.
Sure. Alright, we're going to attack with both guys. And I assume he's going to trade with the Dryad Militant, which I'm fine with. Where are you at, bro? Attack
Alright.
for 8.
Take it. 10.
Okay, sure. So he goes down to 10, and I'm done.
Well, that was not what we wanted to draw. Say go.
I smell a rat. Alright, so we're just going to put Spectral Flight on the Geist of Saint Traft.
Yep.
And then just attack with the Geist and the Angel. I'm obviously playing around Restoration Angel, if that wasn't clear, because passing with 4 mana is usually a sign that that's exactly what's coming. So, I mean, he can go to 2 here and then play the Angel post-combat, I guess, but I definitely don't just want to run my Dryad Militant into an Angel for free.
So, let's see. I have to draw. Trying to think what my outs are at this point.
There aren't too many to Spectral Flight on Geist of Saint Traft, which I am a huge fan of.
I mean, I have outs to that, but it's just the being a 2 life thing.
Yeah.
Go to 6. I think we have to play Restoration Angel. Untap that guy. Not that it matters.
Sure.
You have how many cards in?
I have 3.
I think I have to block this turn
Sure.
in case he has another removal spell.
So you're going to go to 6?
Yep.
Alright. And I'm going to play a Precinct Captain and pass the turn.
Alright. And we're dead.
Okay.
Needed to draw a land for this. So.
Gotcha. So, okay, the question I wanted to ask was, I do this a lot, and I know that you probably do too, but I think it's important to note, like, let's recreate the board state real quick where, like, we both just have, like, one land in play, and you have the Pilgrim. So, if it's, like, turn 2, and you haven't played a land yet, and by attacking with the Pilgrim, it's signifying one of two things to me. It's either signifying that you are willing to trade the Pilgrim because you're not, like, flooded, but you have plenty of mana.
Yeah.
And also that you're not really able to deal with Warfalcon very well. But you're also running the potential that you're bluffing and you're not using the guy this turn, so you just want to get in 1 damage. And the other reason that I blocked is because if you are bluffing, then that's going to be very bad for you. And, like, it ended up being pretty bad for you that you traded.
It wasn't a bluff, though. Like, I had 3 lands in hand and
Right.
could cast everything.
Right.
And an Arbor Elf, so I assumed... Like, I just never drew a land the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But, there was, like, the potential that me, like, blocking it would have just put you really far behind if you were bluffing.
Right.
And since my guy flies, and you just kind of assume that I'm not going to block, and you just get a free point of damage in. But I think it's important to know, like, both sides, like, what the risks are going into that attack, because, like you said, you can draw a 5-drop, or, like, you didn't have a second white for Tristani, and, like, not having the Pilgrim, like, if you had drawn Tristani, like, the game would have been over if you had been able to cast Tristani on, like, turn 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
So... something important to note. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not saying it was like an incorrect attack or anything like that, but like, it's definitely risky because you are sacrificing basically a land to try to get in 1 point, or you're basically like sacking a land to kill a Warfalcon.
I mean, I was fine with you making the trade there. I didn't expect that the mana from Pilgrim would matter because I had to play every single turn.
Right.
And then ended up just not drawing the land. Did matter, but
right.
I think I would have made that attack there regardless.
Sure.
So.
Sure. All right, so we're going to go sideboarding. I don't really have all that much to bring in. Like, I don't think Negate's very good against you. You don't have a lot of graveyard stuff, so Rest in Peace is not great. You do, however, have a lot of Oblivion Rings, and so War Priest of Moon might be pretty sweet. And you do... I think you have a decent number of humans, so Bonds of Faith might not be good. And, yeah, you have all these Abrupt Decays and Golgari Charms, so...
Yeah, I'm going to bring in Abrupt Decays, Golgari Charms. Basically want to... be able to kill, like, Spectral Flight is a big one.
Yep.
Or just any creature with Abrupt Decay. Golgari Charm's good because it wraths a lot of his guys, and also can just be, like, another way to kill Spectral Flight, or, like, you know, what have you, so...
Yeah, I mean, it kills, like, Dried Militant, Warfalcon, Sky Knight, and Night of Glory.
Yeah.
And all those are pretty good, so...
Also kills my own creatures, some of my own creatures, but...
All your mana dudes.
Yeah. But I think that's risk I'm willing to take.
Yep.
Also because it can also kill Spectral Flights. So I have to figure out what I'm going to side out. And I think I want to side out Armada Worm because it's just real slow. Your deck's pretty aggressive.
Yeah. What is your opinion of Divine Deflection in this matchup? Because I know I want to side out Knights of Glory because they don't really do all that much against you. All the rest of the guys, since they have First Strike or have like a sweet ability, like being protect. I don't think the what's his face, Elite Inquisitor is that good against you either. But I'm not sure if it's better or worse than Knight of Glory. Like, which one do you think is worse?
Probably Elite Inquisitor, but I'm not positive. Like.
Yeah, I mean, but if I have like an Elite Inquisitor and a Pricing Captain in play, like you just can't attack with like almost any of your creatures.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know, but I kind of want to keep this in just because if like there's a point where we get to a stalled board, you just can't like if I attack with everything, I can like prevent like 2 here, 1 here, and and fireball you at the same time. So I think I'm just gonna side out like 2 of each of these just to see which one's worse.
Alright, so I'm boarding out 2 Worms. Because of this, I'm going to board out 1 Tristani as well because I have less guys to use with her. And also, like, Spectral Flight on Geist makes her a lot worse than she would otherwise be.
Right.
And a lot of your guys fly, so she's not as good. Board out 1 O-Ring as well, just so I don't get, like, removal flooded or whatever. Mm-hmm. Especially if you have, like, a Geist, I definitely don't want that to happen. And I'm going to bring in these 4 cards. So we'll see how that goes.
Alright, so let's shuffle them, get ready for game 3. Brian's going to be on the play again.
Also, I wish I was playing Lingering Souls because it seems insane versus your deck.
Yep.
You have all those X1s, like War Falcon and Sky Knight. Lingering Souls just seems like, I mean, you have the Detention Sphere, but that only works on half the card, so.
I was seriously considering Angel of Jubilation, just like pump my guys like that, like in the mid-late game or whatever, but the triple white seems pretty rough if I like draw multiple caverns. And I don't really want any cavern on Angel like ever. And she also costs 4, which is not good. And I think that cards like Spectral Flight kind of take her spot in the deck, and it's just like a lot cheaper. But.
Right. I had like a few mana issues. I'm wondering if I want 4 Borderline Rangers instead of 3. Because I feel like either of those games would have probably been won if I had a Borderline Ranger. Even that last game, because I had the O-Ring for your Spectral Flight, or I had double O-Ring for your Spectral Flight, and if I could have gotten Thrag Tusk in play, that would have made my Angel actually good. So, yeah. But, yeah, maybe I want the 4th Borderland. And
yeah, Borderline Ranger's always been awesome for me, so I always recommend playing more of those.
yeah, like I usually like 3. Like I think 3 is usually a good number because you don't want to get too flooded on them sometimes. But it's possible that I just want 4 to. All right. Hopefully I don't get skunked here.
All right. Brian's up first.
5. Yep, we'll keep this in.
Yeah, this isn't super exciting, but I think it's definitely keepable, so we'll snap it off.
All right, go to 18, Arbor Elf.
Sure.
It's a little painful, but.
All right, we'll lead with the War Falcon again. Your turn.
All right.
I've actually been kind of impressed with this guy, especially in the first game. I'm not exactly sure how good he is after board, like when I'm signing out, 4 knights for 4 non-knights. So
Yeah.
might not be as good as I think after game 1. But you don't have a lot of removal in your deck, so he's obviously much better than normal.
Go to 16.
Sure.
Just killing ourselves softly here. Play Lockstone Smiter.
Sure.
Say go.
So we may be running into a Golgari Charm, but I think we kind of have to with our draw. I'm going to attack for 2.
Yep, 14.
He's taking so much damage from his own lands. Go ahead.
Definitely have a lot of decisions here this turn. Start by attacking with Loxodon. Let's see, do I want to attack with? Yeah, start by sending the Smiter.
Sure. 16.
So now we could cast this and hope he doesn't have another soldier, but that seems unlikely. We could also play this, but I'm not sure if I want to do that yet. I would rather do it with this, so I think we're going to actually play Call of the Conclave, which gets exiled. Get a Beast, and then play another Temple Garden.
Sure.
Tapped. Or get a Wolf, I should say.
Sure.
Not actually a Beast. War Falcon does a lot of damage.
Yeah, it does. Especially because these are going to be super popular starting off, especially.
Yep.
And 3 color decks, playing 8 of them is actually kind of rough. So I think I'm just going to attack for 8. Or 4, so I'll put you down to 10. And we'll play Cavernous Souls and name Cleric.
Geist Ain't Draft, yep, obviously.
And I think I'm going to pass turn after that.
Alright. Deck is not helping us here. Really wanted to draw lands pretty badly. You're at 16?
I am.
Tech for 7, 9. Sorry.
It's okay.
I have to decide if how I want to make the attacks here.
Yeah.
This is actually pretty crucial. I think we want to send these.
Alright, so I think I just take 7 down to 9 here. I mean, I could chump block, I guess, for if he has the Golgari Charm. But if he doesn't, I'm going to be able to attack with the War Falcons. So, like, if he just passes turn, that means he's probably got Restoration Angel. Hopefully, he has Angel and not Charm. Alright, so we're going to take 2 from the Hallowed Fountain, go to 7. And cast Spectral Flight on the Geist of St. Traft.
Yep.
And move to attacks.
Yep.
Attack. Alright, so he's got Angel, so he's going to be able to block and not die, but he has to block one of these two and just chump block basically, or he's dead because he's at 10.
So, yeah, we'll block here, take 8 at 2.
Alright, and post-combat, I'm going to play a War Priest of Thune, and it's an optional ability, so I'm not going to kill my Spectral Flight.
Sure.
But if I don't cast this guy now, he can just, like, since I'm at 7 and he has 8 power in play, if he just kills the Dryad Militant, then I'm dead, so go ahead. Like, you could play something next turn to crush me, but...
I'm pretty sure... Let's see.
If only Luxon Smiter gained 4 life when it came into play.
I think I'd still be dead, but...
No way, dude. You'd be at 10 right now. Okay, you might not. You might still be dead. I don't know.
So, yeah. Yeah, we're dead.
Okay.
Like, I needed to rip... Again, I needed to hit a land for Thragtusk
Right.
a turn earlier, so... Ugh, Spectral Flight just destroying me.
Yeah. That card's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, but if at any point there you'd had Golgari Charm, like, I don't think I would have been even remotely in the game.
Yep.
Like, the War Falcons were definitely doing some work there. Like, I think combined they did 10 damage.
Did you have the War
twice.
Priest the entire time?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I O-ringed...
If you had O-ringed on turn 2, you
I would have been destroyed.
You'd have been dead.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, like when you said that, I'm like, come on. Like people have been accusing me of like walking the dog, you know, like trying to tell you to do things or whatever. Because whenever we talk about our hand, so I'm trying. Whenever you start talking about your hand, I just like to shut up and just like let him do what he's doing. So I don't want to influence your play at all if I can help it.
Yeah, I probably would have hit a War Falcon if I did play the O-ring, but yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to cut just down to 3 War Priests of Thune against them. I like the Knight of Glory's ability to turn on the War Falcon as well as the Exalted. It keeps me from having to like overextend too much. And since I'm on the draw, I want to try out maybe playing 22 lands a little, so I'm going to cut an Azorius Guildgate on the draw and see if it hurts me too badly.
I think I'm going to stick with what I've got here. The thing is like, even though I've been 3-0'd, all 3 games have been like, well, game 2 wasn't that close, but games 1 and 3 have been like, 1 card is the difference maker. Or, I guess actually game 2 too, if I hit the land for Thragtusk, I probably would have been in the game.
Yep.
So, I think all 3 games have been like, Very close. Could have gone either way. Like, even though I'm 0-3 at this point, I don't actually feel like I'm getting destroyed. Yeah.
I think these matches are also showing just how powerful what's it called?
Which card?
The one white card. Sorry, I just can't remember.
War Falcon?
No, the instant.
Faith Shield?
Yeah. How good Face Shield's going to end up being if everyone's playing Detention Spheres and stuff in their white decks.
Yep.
Like, because being able to protect... Like, you can even just protect your Spectral Flight, against a deck that's, like, their only way to not die is to kill Spectral Flight. And I think being able to protect all of your enchantments as well as your creatures is going to make Face Shield, like, way better than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wish I was playing another one, honestly. At least one more. Because, like, the times where I Detention Sphere you, like, if you have an answer for it, like, it might be kind of bad for me. So, we'll see. All right, so Brian's going to be on the play again.
All right. I'll keep.
Yeah, I mean, we have 5 lands. I don't think we can keep, even though our other 2 cards are decent. We have 2 more lands on top.
This guy is making a rare appearance. Hopefully he will help us.
Oh, Borderland?
Yep. Extremely rare sighting of Borderland right
His
here.
new video game just came out.
Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't. It's not funny when you explain the pun, Brian. If you, come on, man. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Shrug. I don't know.
Like, I will explain all the puns.
Yeah.
I don't care. All right, so let's go to 6.
That was
Let's see if we get another Guys Who Saint Traft plus Spectral Flight combo. That'd be awesome.
That would suck. How about you don't get that?
Oof. So, these two are soldiers. This one is a knight. If I draw a Hallowed Fountain, this hand's ridiculous, but if I don't draw any land, I'm just going to die. I think I'll keep it on the draw, but it's definitely a risky one, so go. That's bad.
Was not a Hallowed Fountain, apparently.
Alright, Cavern of Souls, we'll name Soldier and play Dryden Militant.
Sure.
Go.
And we will bring out the Smiter.
Alright.
Go ahead.
Land.
Is a land.
Alright, so playing the Knight of Glory here is not going to really do anything for us, so we're going to play just the Precinct Captain. Go ahead. And now he has the option to attack and leave himself potentially vulnerable to a swing back from the captain to get a 1/1. But if he just plays like another Luxon Smiter or a like a 3/3, it might be not so good for us. So
Boom.
alright, so we're going to go down to 16 from the Smiter. I'm getting smoked.
Hopefully. Love to smite. Let's play this. Let's play Call of the Conclave. Which, and play this good old basic land swamp here. Go ahead.
Sure. Rats. Alright, so I think the play here is Knight of Glory, which is going to let me exalt in my Precinct Captain, and if he blocks, it first strikes his Beast to Death, and if he doesn't, I get a 1/1 Soldier. So we're going to attack with the Precinct Captain.
Yeah, that's not the greatest. I think I don't want him to get the token, so I'm going to block with Absence Spoken.
Sure. Alright. And then I'll pass turn after that.
Maybe a mistake, but
I mean, you just want to make sure you don't die, and now you're cracking back for 7 a turn, so this is not good for me, definitely.
well, we drew a card that we wanted to draw, which is good.
Ruh-roh, Raggy. Tristani seems very hard to cast in your deck. I definitely don't think I would be playing 3 of them. That's just from my perspective on this end. Like, you've only been able to cast it with your lands, like, once.
I mean, I can cast it this game,
Sure.
so. Could have cast it last game, too.
Fine.
Yeah.
And game 2, probably.
Yeah, could always cast it. Unfortunately, I can't do these two and get the land that I want to get, which is a Plains. Which is a little unfortunate.
Is
but
it Borderline Ranger into Golgari Charm.
But if I had done it a little differently, you're at 16, so I think I want to.
I don't think I'm winning this game. I stumbled pretty hard.
Start by playing. Yeah, I want to get a Plains, so I think I have to get a Plains. No, I don't have to get a Plains. Yeah, I can get a Forest. So Borderline Ranger, get a Forest.
Charm.
It's not Charm, no.
Abrupt Decay?
Just put the Forest out here.
I have no idea what's going on.
Send for 7.
I'll take 7 down to 9.
And I think since he has Face Shield in his deck, we just want to do this like main phase. Abrupt Decay that guy.
Sure.
Actually, so
Don't think it matters too much on the
No.
Xoing.
don't think so either, but would rather play by the rules. So go ahead.
Why?
It is less fun, but
Alright, so I'm pretty sure I'm dead. All I can cast is War Falcon, and I'm facing off against a bunch of big dudes. So, we're just going to scoop them up. I
alright.
don't think there's any way I can come back from this board state. So,
The reason I was able to get the Forest here, even though I want a second white, is because I have Angel for the Borderlands to get the plans.
sure.
As long as this doesn't die, but
Yeah, I just thought you were like casting Golgari Charm there. Just to,
Right.
like kill 2 guys and put me on in a pretty bad spot, but you were like killing your guy in the meanwhile. But
nah, yeah.
we're gonna bring back the Guildgate while we're on the play, and we're gonna cut something, but I don't know what yet. Probably a Knight of Glory. Actually, Knight of Glory seemed like he was better than the Elite Inquisitor, so we'll go ahead and cut all the Elite Inquisitors. Although if I like Spectral Flight and Elite Inquisitor, and I'm able to just like attack you with Vigilance and have a big first striking guy, that might be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of would be tough for me to like swing through, but
But I mean,
You also
you
open
do have
yourself
like
up to, like-
Oblivion Ring and Abrupt Decay though, so
yeah, and
I
Charm.
very rarely want to put Spectral Flight on anything except for Geist Sustaining Trap. Maybe Precinct Captain if it's like Desperation mode or whatever. I really don't want to get too full-wind. Drew a Divine Deflection as my last draw that game. Just like, well,
Yeah, like, well, we can prevent 1 damage.
yeah. It's real good. Yeah, I mean, I probably should have gone to 5, but if I had drawn like a Hallowed Fountain, my draw was just going to be like Precinct Captain into Spectral Flight and then like hitting me for 4 while generating chump blockers. But like you obviously had the Abrupt Decay, so that plane was kind of shot anyway.
Right.
I had a Geist in hand too, which I couldn't cast. That was my first draw instead of a land or whatever.
Is the
And I
Geist,
was just like,
yeah.
oh god, because my Cavern was naming not Cleric or Spirit.
Yeah.
It's also important to note that Geist being a Cleric, you can cast your War Priest of Thune also, because War Priest is a Cleric.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that's the only thing that it matters with, but no need to name Spirit, because you don't have any other Spirits in your deck, so...
I also like naming the less known creature type because it can throw your opponent off.
Yeah, because then they're trying to constantly figure out like
what you're gonna cast.
Yeah, you could also name Spirit if you don't want them to know you have a War Priest of Thune in hand.
Right.
Since War Priest is a Cleric, and if you name Spirit, you know they're like, okay, well I guess he doesn't have War Priest because he would have named Cleric.
Yeah.
And he probably doesn't have it in his deck. So
I think that may be operating on a little bit higher level than most people will.
Sure.
Yeah, most people aren't gonna think that far ahead. But yeah.
all right, we're gonna mulligan this hand. It was a one-lander with Azorius Guildgate. Not ideal.
Sand isn't really ideal either. This is why, yeah. Like, I'm going to keep this hand, but I can see us losing this one.
Being on the
like-
draw.
Yeah,
I get to be on the play for once.
you do.
Oh, rub-ins. Let's get some barbecue over here so we can put some rub-ins. Cuts. Alright, let's have a good 6.
I'm hoping for a really weak 6. I want to at least get 2 wins out of this. Weakest 6 we've seen all day.
Alright, we'll keep.
It doesn't sound like the weakest 6.
Go. Guildgate. I wish there was some way to make the guild gate come into play untapped, like
Good 18.
reveal a blue and white card from your hand or something like that. That would have been pretty sweet. All right, so you're down to 18.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Oh, then you could just, yeah. I don't know, that might be a little too good, though.
All right, well, kind of an awkward draw here, but we're going to play Dried Militant and then play Howled Fountain Pester. We drew one of these cards this turn. Can you figure out which one it was?
No, I can't.
Yeah, it's impossible to figure it out.
Going to tap for a mana.
Rats. I was snapping that dude off.
Yeah, I know. Smiter, go ahead.
Alright, well, we didn't draw what we want to draw.
This was a really good draw for us right here. It's, hopefully, we'll end up winning us this game.
We're just drawing just like all these cards out of order here. Like, drew a War Falcon this turn, and I don't know if I should cast that, or I think I want to use my mana more efficiently, so I'm going to cast the Knight of Glory instead, but Pester.
Not going to attack for 3?
Thought about it.
Would have been pretty
It's
good.
pretty unfair to have a 4/4 for 3 mana. That's uncalled for.
Boom.
16.
I believe...
I have not taken a damage
Yeah,
yet, sir.
yeah, I wrote the 18 on the wrong thing. I'm at 18. You're at 16. Yep.
Trying to cheat me.
Yes. Yes, I am. Arbor Elf.
Sure.
And Call the Conclave.
Sure.
And Overgrown. Go ahead.
Why can't I draw a land? Alright, well, we'll attack with a Dried Militant for 3.
15.
And cast a War Falcon and prepare to get ranched. Go.
I'm ready for the ranching.
Well, you will kill 2 of your own guys if... Oh, boy. That's bad.
Yep. Yep. We are just going to go ahead and send on in these 3 guys.
Alright, I'm going to double block your Smiter. This might end up being real bad for me, but I figured it's worth trying to get them off the field.
He's probably got Faith's Shield if I take a guess. I have no effects for damage.
Alright, I'll take 4.
Okay.
Alright, down to 12.
Probably should have held back the Arbor Elf as well. Would have let me do a little bit more this turn. Good and cast Borderline Ranger.
Yep.
Gets, I guess, just a forest here.
Sure. Play it go, or you got another?
I played the vault this turn.
Oh, sure.
I'm done. Yeah.
God, it's pretty good with the land. Play Knight of Glory. Attack for 3.
12.
Go. It's possible I should not be attacking with the Militant, just holding back to trade with stuff, but I'm not trading with the Beast, and I can just trade the Knight with the Borderland if I really want to. But it's going to be pretty hard for me to beat that Vault here, I think. But block the Borderland.
Alright. Activate Vault to the Archangel.
Sure. Alright, so you gain 6.
6, yeah.
I take 4.
Yep.
I'm at 8, you're at 18.
Yep. I'm going to play Absence Pilgrim.
Sure.
Go ahead. Got a bunch of dirty 1/1s who are going to death touch their way to victory, hopefully.
Alright, I'll play Precinct Captain.
That's pretty bad, actually.
And Pester. Well, I'm tapped out. And it sounded like you had a removal spell a minute ago, so perhaps you did not.
See, you're at 8. You
I am.
block. You take that. I'll just send the beast.
I'll take it.
Okay. I'm at 5.
5 to 18.
Actually, no.
Are you
I'm gonna
vaulting?
use. Yeah, I'll use
Alright.
Vault.
21 to 5.
And Cast Portal Ranger.
Sure.
Another Faggable Plans. I'm gonna play Temple Garden Taps.
Sure.
Here you go.
Attack.
Alright, 19.
Alright. I'll get a guy, which isn't that good. I have to play this War Priest, though, I think, to trade with a guy. I'll be done. In a bad spot. Brian's got the exact opposite problem of me.
I do. Everyone.
Alright. I'm at 5, so I think trade. If he's got Golgari Charm to regenerate, this is going to be bad. I think I have to play around that, so we'll do that.
Alright, take 2.
Sure. Are you going to vault at all?
Nope.
Alright. So I'm at 3. And I should block. I'm going to block like this, I'm sorry. I'm going to put the 2-1 on the 2-2 and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
2-2. Alright. And that's still okay?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. He's gone. That was just an idiotic mistake.
Go.
Alright, so he's obviously got Restoration Angel. Not sure if I can actually beat that card. Alright, so I have a couple options here, and this is pretty difficult. So if I assume he has Restoration Angel there, I can play this and detain this guy for a turn. Or I can play this defensively on the Precinct Captain and then play a War Falcon. Or I can play this offensively, put on the Precinct Captain attack, have a blocker, and then play this as a flying blocker for the Restoration Angels. So I think that might be, it's a little aggressive, but I think it's probably better.
Okay.
So we're going to attack for 4.
15.
Shoot with a soldier. And then play a War Falcon and say go. Sure.
Did have the Restoration Angel.
Alright, so again we're just going to chump, and trade. Yeah, can't not do that. So
Well,
take 1 down to 2. You gain 6, 7, 8 up to 23. All my guys die, and your Absence Pilgrim dies.
And did you take? You
Yeah, I
took
took
1
1.
from a pilgrim?
Yeah, I'm at 2.
Or 2. Go ahead.
So he's getting flooded, which is the only reason I'm even remotely in this game. But we are going to play Sky Knight and detain the Restoration Angel.
Okay.
And then we're going to attack for 4 and make Soldier
19.
19. Alright, so 19 to 2, go. And obviously I'm at like death's door, so holding, I mean like if he has anything I'm dead, but we kind of have to play like he has nothing. Just hope we get a little lucky. Alright, I think we're willing to trade here with the Beast.
Yep.
Alright. Well then, okay. So you gain 5 up to 24.
Yep.
Alright.
And it's yours.
So now I'm pretty sure I just have to leave my captain on D.
Unless he draws another flyer.
We're going to Detention Sphere the Restoration Angel.
Okay.
But even if I attack, you're just going to be gaining 5 life on the swing back, so there's actually no reason to
Right.
to do that. So I'm just gonna pass turn. Vault of the Archangel is rough. Oh boy. All right, so 29. Yep.
Go ahead.
Knight, go.
Alright, before damage, Angel, the one that blocked by the Precinct Captain.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I don't have
activate
an
Vault.
out.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright.
Yep. Fell pretty far behind, and eventually drew out of your flood. So
Yeah, eventually,
not a lot
like,
I can do.
with Vault in play, I just, like, almost anything was, like...
Yeah, like, I have to basically have, like, Geist Spectral Flight on turn 4 for me to beat a Vault, I think. If you have any sort of reasonable pressure. It's just really tough to beat. And, I mean, I thought Precinct Captain was pretty sweet in that situation.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, not a lot of cards would have helped me out, but he was definitely doing some work with the Spectral Flight. But obviously, if you drew any removal spell, like, I was just going to get ranched.
Right.
But, yeah, we'll be back for the conclusion in just a minute. All right, guys, we're back for the wrap-up of Todd versus BBD this week. Had some pretty sweet decks, I think. The first couple games, Brian stumbled a little bit. We were able to 3-0 him, but I think his deck worked a lot better in the last 2 games, and he was able to show just how good some of your cards were. So let's talk about your junk deck and how you think it performed. What would you like to change?
Yep. Like, I liked a lot of the cards in it. The mana was a little rough. That's probably the part that needs to be fixed is, like, the mana base. Like, I wanted to play a lot of forests. Like, so I had 4 Overgrown Tomb, 4 Temple Garden, so that Arbor Elf was good.
Yeah.
But I think the deck would have benefited from, like, cards like Isolated Chapel and, like, Woodland Cemetery and stuff to, like, you know, just more dual lands. But that also makes, like, Arbor Elf a little worse. Yeah. So there's a little give and take there, and I think, like, some work can be done on it still.
Sure. So you had 2 of each of the good lands, like the
Vault and...
Yeah, Vault and the...
Gavany Township, yeah.
Right. What do you think about those with Tristani? Because that was actually my biggest concern. Because you also have Swamp in your deck. Is it just the 1 Swamp for the Borderland Ranger?
1 Swamp for Ranger, yeah. Yeah, like that can be a little bit of a concern. Like, I think Arbor Elf and Avacyn's Pilgrim help a lot in making sure you can cast those cards.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't get blocked by, like, a War Falcon or something.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, you know, that's the key. But, I don't know, like, maybe I only want to play 2 Trostani's, or maybe I can't play any if I'm playing 3-color. Like, I've played a little bit with just white-green, and Tristani was pretty awesome, but the mana was infinitely better as well. So
Sure. So what are your opinions of Lingering Souls in the deck, and do you think that should be added? Not specifically just for, like, against my deck, but against, like, what you expect to face?
I think Lingering Souls probably has a place. Like, I'm not sure if I want, like, a full set, but it's good with both Vault and Gavany Township, so I should probably be playing it. It would have been insane against your deck.
Yeah,
you have
obviously.
all these X1s.
Mono X1s.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so as far as my deck is concerned, a few things that I might want to change. Probably cutting down on one of the guild gates. I definitely drew that a little more than I wanted to, and I think going down to 2. I'll still draw it a couple times, but I also maybe want to try out Island. Maybe I'm wrong about not being able... Like, obviously, I don't have a Geralt's Messenger in my deck, so my argument with Golgari Guildgate in a Black-Green Zombies deck might not be functionally the same as the Blue-White Guildgate in this deck.
Right, like the only double white card you have is the Precinct Captain, right?
And also Elite Inquisitor.
Oh, you have Inquisitor.
But yeah, those are the only 2 double white spells I have in my main deck, and I think in my deck altogether. So, you know, it might be worth experimenting with at least a few islands. That way I can curve out more easily, because I do have a lot of creatures that cost, like, a colorless mana, like, or have blue in their casting cost. Like the Sky Knight you can play with an island, Geist you can play with an island, and Knight of Glory you can play with an island. So the fact that I have like 12 creatures, and I also have 4 Spectral Flights and or not 12 creatures, I have 10 creatures, 4 Spectral Flights and Divine Deflection, all can use island pretty effectively. And with with their casting costs or whatever, as well as Detention Sphere too. I forget about that one. So.
Yeah, so you have enough cards where Island is probably fine.
Right, and so going forward, that's definitely the first thing I want to change. I really like Spectral Flight, but pretty much only on Geist of Saint-Traft. So I might cut down to like 3 Spectral Flights just because I don't ever want to get flooded with them if I don't have a Geist already. And I do have a couple of cards like Faith Shield makes Geist of Saint Traft a lot better as well.
Yep.
And I think Faith Shield is definitely one of the cards I want to try out more going forward because of its ability to protect Attention Sphere and to protect a creature that has a Spectral Flight on it. Because I don't really want any of my creatures to die if they have a Spectral Flight on it, ever.
Right.
And that's one of the easiest ways to lose is just to get 2 for 1. So,
and I think, and I would say also, like, we just played this one matchup. Spectral Flight may not be quite as good in some other matchups where they actually have removal.
Right.
Like, me not having a lot of removal made Spectral Flight, like, just insane.
Right.
But, yeah.
I mean, but like I said, it is mostly just for Geist of Saint Traft. So,
right.
Leo Sky Knight felt really powerful when I could cast it. It got stuck in my hand a few times when I was stuck on 2 lands. But and that's obviously like the drawback that I didn't want to play too many 3s.
Mm-hmm.
But like if I play a few islands, I might actually be able to move up to 24 lands, which feels a little gross, especially since we don't have any card manipulation. So getting flooded feels like it could end up being a real issue.
What are your thoughts on like Restoration Angel? It seems very good with like Sky Knight and maybe some other cards you could put in the deck that aren't currently in there.
Yeah, I mean, we could make it more mid-rangey. Like, obviously, if you had Lingering Souls in your deck, this would have been a completely different matchup.
Yep.
And having something like Restoration Angel to go long could be awesome. Honestly, I didn't really want 4 drops. Like, I felt like I had trouble getting 3 mana, let alone 4. But if I play more lands, maybe I could end up playing some more land haunts. Something like that. So it could end up being pretty sweet. I mean, with more like cards like Detain, like there's the new guy, I forgot his name, but he's a white and 1 for a 2/1 that detains when he comes into play.
Yep.
I feel like Detain is going to be a very underused ability that's going to be very good, especially in limited.
Yeah,
but,
it is.
Once people figure out how good it is at constructed, just being able to like detain a mana guy, on turn 2 seems not bad, right? Like, doesn't it keep him from using the mana ability?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think if you it's the same as Arrest, whatever Arrest does.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Arrest has excluding mana abilities, but regardless, I think Detain is going to be very good, especially on a 3/1 flyer for 3 mana. So hopefully that guy is going to be very good, since he is a knight and a human. So Cavern of Souls casts him much more easily than normal. So as far as your sideboard, was there anything that you felt like you needed against me that you didn't have?
No, I mean, like, I had Abrupt Decay, which is, I think, a good answer to the Spectral Flights,
Yeah,
and also
Golgari Charm seemed like it would have been real gross if you had drawn it.
Right, if I'd ever drawn Golgari Charm, I would have been pretty happy with it.
Are you playing 2 Golgari Charm or 3?
I'm playing 2 Charm, 2 Abrupt Decay.
Okay, I think like there might be some merit to playing just like 3 or 4 Golgari Charms, just depending, because not only does it counter Supreme Verdict against you because you can regenerate all your creatures,
yeah,
but against like a weenie deck like mine, that's just like the only card you ever want to draw. Like, there were so many spots there where if you just had a Golgari Charm, like, I was just dead on the spot.
Right.
And even though it kills your mana guys, maybe you can side out some of your Arbor Elves because they're not that great, and you can, make it hurt you a little bit less.
Yeah, the downside, though, is, like, if I do play Lingering Souls, then Golgari Charm gets a lot worse.
Right. So if you, let's say, for example, like, if you keep it the same, maybe play more Golgari Charms. If you put in Lingering Souls, maybe just leave it at 2.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
As far as my sideboard is concerned, I don't think I had a whole lot to really do against you.
Yeah, like, your sideboard is pretty, like, straightforward, just, like, early in the format kind of sideboard where you're not sure exactly what you're going to face.
Yeah.
And, like, as things progress, you'll figure out, like...
Yeah, I mean, perhaps I want some number of negates against you because some of your biggest spells against me were, like, Oblivion Ring targeting my guy with Spectral Flight or some sort of charm. It doesn't counter Abrupt Decay, obviously, but it didn't feel like you had too many targets for it, which is why I didn't bring it in.
Right, I think you're probably better off without it.
Right, so... yeah, but anyway, guys, is there anything else you'd like to close with, or you think that's about all you want about your deck? Like,
no, I mean, I really liked it, like, in general. Like, I want to keep working on it, but, definitely has room to grow.
Sure.
So.
All right, guys, well, this is Todd Anderson signing off alongside
Braun-Duin.
Yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. We will have commentary on our next week's video, so stay tuned for that. But thanks for watching, guys.
Yep, thank you.